Hello, my name is Jimmy, and this is the 2024 Toyota Sienna. As it is a minivan, things are a little bit different. Instead of starting off with the driver's seat there, I'm going to show you its practicality. So let's give the rear end a good old kick, and it reveals 33.5 cubic feet of space. And what that means is, at myself at 5'11", I still can very comfortably sit inside. So if for whatever reason you like to transport people in the trunk, well, it's not going to be a problem. But it's also really good for groceries, strollers, golf bag, what have you. This is a very spacious place, and it can get bigger. Let me show you. Because if you need more space, well, it's super easy. With one hand, you can just pull, and this goes right into the floor. Same with the other side. And then you get a cavernous cabin. This is good enough for bears, deers, even a Grom 125. So it's potentially better than a pickup truck. As for getting people into the cabin, that's not difficult neither. There's a button right here on the door, allows the door to open, or you can kick underneath the vehicle and the doors will open. And once you got the doors open, as this is the 7-passenger variant, it's as easy as going through the middle, or you can fold the seat up and out of the way. Once you're in the back, unlike SUVs, you got plenty of headroom, plenty of legroom. So it's actually very comfortable in here. If you're fitting 3 people across, things might get a little bit more squishy, but it's still better than like the Highlander, for example. You get your cup holders. There's even USB ports on the side to charge your devices. As this is not the top trim, unfortunately, I don't get the baby shades on the side windows here, but the windows being this small, it's not that big of a deal. But I do get my vents on the top, which I absolutely love. As for the second row here, headroom, legroom, both isn't a problem. There's plenty of space in here. You got your baby shades on the side, and you can roll down that side window. Sadly, it doesn't go all the way down, but it's enough for most people. And speaking of enough, just right here, I have access to 3 different cup holders. There's one on the door, one on the seat, and there's one in the center. So no matter what kind of drinks I may need, well, I should have access to it. And if I really want the utmost comfort, if I fold down that 3rd row seat, well, this chair slides. And not only does it slide all the way forward so that you can basically have the most amount of space for your cargo, it also slides all the way back. And with that, if I can reach, I can really stretch out in here. Sadly, as this is not the top limited trim, I don't get the ottoman that flips out. But this is really comfortable. I'm 5'11" and I cannot reach that driver's seat with me adjusted in place. I reviewed the EV9 recently where they have these kind of lean back chairs, but they weren't all that useful while driving as you can't really do anything. There just isn't enough space. This, there absolutely is. If you step up with the all-wheel drive and the tech package, that's where you start getting the rear seat entertainment package. But for now, I only get my quad zone climate control, which I guess is enough for now. However, you're probably going to get a van, not because you're carrying adults in the back. You're probably going to be carrying kiddos as well. Luckily, I am a child passenger safety technician, and I do want to show you exactly how car seats fit inside the Sienna.
On the driver's side here, we have the Collect Lane infant seat with its carrier. There's plenty of space, even with the driver's seat adjusted to me at 5'11". On the passenger side here, we have the Collect FUMF in rear facing. I like how the seatbelt is attached to the seat itself. This allows me to slide the seat back and forth without removing the child seat itself. As for the 3rd row, I was still able to fit rear facing seats, so if you have little ones, this is definitely a viable option comparing to the regular or even the Grand Highlander. Sadly, I wasn't able to fit 3 seats across the rear bench itself.
As this is the XSE model, things are a little different and a little bit sporty with this orange stitching. The materials, it is that soft text that Toyota uses. So it's not leather, it's pleather, but it's good because it's easy to wipe. The seats themselves are pretty comfortable with a 2-way lumbar support. Wish it had a 4-way for more adjustability. And unfortunately, if you want cooled seats or ventilated seats, that's only for the top trim. I only get heated seats here, which I guess is not too bad. In front, I do get a heated steering wheel. The buttons are pretty typical Toyota layout. There's nothing confusing about that. It's ordinary. As is the gauge cluster. It has all the things that you would need in a relatively small screen in the center. Higher trims do get a bigger digital display to show you a little bit more information in a nicer way, but this, it's absolutely fine for most people. I mean, there's even a digital speedo, which most people actually really love. Yes, there's still the analog one, but a digital speedo is nice. You can just glance down and see exactly what speed it is. No heads-up display, which is totally fine. I do get, well, not the latest infotainment from Toyota. This is the previous version. Things are a little bit laggy from time to time. However, I use CarPlay. I have to plug it in through a cable, though, through a USB port that's in the center here, which is just an absurd place to put it, but it's fine, I guess. My phone sits here in front of the cup holder. There's a place for the cord. I mean, I guess there's not too much to complain about. It's fine, but I do wish that it has wireless CarPlay, which I'm sure is coming to the 2025 model, as most Toyotas are upgrading the infotainment system. It's just a matter of time before the Sienna gets it. Just below is your climate control. You get all the hard buttons that you would need. It's very simple to use. Heat, cold, vents, whatever. I just press my auto button and it's easy as that. It is a quad zone, which is nice. So 4 people at least in the vehicle can have different climates, but whoever's in the third row, you just have to suffer just a little bit. I mean, the interior, it's very thoughtfully laid out. It feels more like a sedan than a van because the cowl is relatively high and the center console is also quite high. It just feels, well, like a sedan would rather than a bigger SUV. Some may like that, some may not, but I still get a decent commanding view over the rest of the vehicles beside me. And I like how the sill on the side is a bit lower, so it's just a little bit better for visibility. That being said, this definitely not as nice as a limited model. Definitely noticed that. Anyways, powertrain. All Sienna comes with a 2.5-liter hybrid powertrain. Combined 245 horsepower. And you can get the all-wheel drive version as well that adds a motor to the rear. You lose the 20-inch wheels when you do opt for the all-wheel drive. You only get the 18s, which I'm sure is to do with fuel economy. Speaking of fuel economy, 6.6 liters for 100 kilometers is what you should expect. Currently, I am averaging 7.9. Yeah, 6.6 is probably something that you can achieve, let's be honest, but you gotta drive it pretty sensibly, which I don't. While I actually really love this powertrain in terms of its efficiency, when you're on the highway or if you're climbing mountains, it just doesn't have enough oomph. Because if I floor it, it just takes a long time for it to get up to speed, and it just feels like, well, that little 4-cylinder and the hybrid power plant, it's just struggling. The V6 that's in every single one of its competitors, it just feels like it's stronger and it pulls better once you're up to speed. In city traffic, this hybrid is absolutely fine. It's not a problem. But once you're, on the highway, out there just trying to pass a truck, it just feels a little bit down on power comparing to the rest. What I can say is, like all vans, it is very comfortable, it's relatively quiet. I mean, overall, the Sienna is exactly what you're looking for if you're looking for a van. It's efficient, it carries people, it's better than an SUV in many ways. Yes, SUVs tend to have a better all-wheel drive system than this. This just has a little electrical motor to, get you out of snow a little bit or sand a little bit. It's not for rock crawling or anything like that, but who's buying a Highlander for that? Really no one. And you can get the Woodland Edition, at least in the US, which does come with an increased ride height. So you get options there. I mean, the Sienna is a good looking vehicle. I like the overall kind of outlook that it has. There are some angles that remind me of like the Supra because of that rear haunch. The headlights, the taillights, they all look good. It's a very nice package. It's not overly styled like the Carnival is, and it's not as kind of, old and boring like the Odyssey is. It just looks a little bit better than the rest. And there's a lot of aftermarket support for the Sienna. You can make this as cool as you want. airlift mixer system, so you can have air suspension. There's full body kits. There's even like a Lexus front end you can get. You can ditch those middle seats and get like lounge chairs. There's so much that you can do to your Sienna to make it your own. And that's why it does excel in other markets, but here in North America, we still gravitate towards SUVs because we care about how other people see us. That's really what it is. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you love the Sienna as much as I do? Do you want a van? Or are you an SUV type of person? Let me know, and I'll catch you later. Take care.